Well, although 3 months is a very short time to do a film, it seems like it's been a long time reviewing these. I tell you, we've really been overwhelmed with both the quantity and the quality of the entries that came in. But there's one that stands out, and that's The Purge, the $100,000 grand prize winner. And I've got the filmmaker on the line with us right now. It's Michael Dorman. Michael, congratulations.
Thank you so much. This has been so much fun from the very beginning all the way here to the announcement yesterday. It has been fabulous.
That's great. Yeah, tell us how you found out about the Operation Paul Revere contest.
Well, I'm a daily listener of Alex Jones, so obviously he announced it probably, what was it, back in January?
Yeah.
So we started to get ideas about it then and started planning there on out.
Super. So you decide you're going to get in it. What's the first thing you do when you're going to make a film?
You got to get the ideas together. And so my brother has like a stack of different articles that he likes to collect, and I do too. And so we started looking through those, and at that time frame in January, February, you had a lot of articles. You guys had a lot of articles about the DHS. And so you had the paper targets coming out then sometime around there. You had the tanks being announced, the 2,700 tanks for domestic use. You had the 7,000 assault rifles that they were using, but they were going to make ours illegal, but they could have them.
That's right.
So you had all these articles like DHS. I think we need to make a movie about DHS.
Yeah, and that's the key. I got to tell you, there were so many fine entries, production values very good, and they were also on target, and they covered a variety of topics, and that was a really important thing too about Operation Paul Revere. But it's just like when Alex saw that, it just hit home because he's been talking for so long about how they're holding these meetings. I mean, this goes way back. They've been doing this type of thing for a very long time. We've been talking about it for a very long time. And when you acted it out, when he saw, your film production, your dramatization of what's actually going on in these meetings that we've been talking about, we've been showing the notes from the meetings, we've been showing even some clips from the meetings. When you actually acted this out, that really hit home with him. That's what pushed it over the top, I believe.
Yeah, you even showed the video of the DHS guy. What was it in the meeting? And this guy's like, "Yeah, George Washington is the terrorist," and so you see that. Oh, we got to do a movie about this.
That's great. Well, tell us what you're going to do with the money now.
Well, I'm getting a little low on the Tangy Tangerine, so I think I'm going to hit the InfoWars website store and get a little bit of the Tangy Tangerine 2.
That's great.
Get a copy of what's your new video? The State of Mind.
State of Mind, yeah.
I haven't seen that yet. I got to get that.
Yeah.
Probably get a Infidel body armor. Look good. I don't have a Pro Pair yet, so I'll probably get one of those.
I tell you what, that Infidel body armor, I keep seeing these unannounced no-knock SWAT raids, and it's like, man, they could break in on any. They don't have to have a reason. They just break in and start shooting if they think you're suspicious. I mean, it's almost like everybody should have that. It's about the only way. You can't get them to get the fluoride out of the water. You can't get them to get the cops under control, but at least you can get a filter and you get body armors about
you never know.
That's right.
You never know.
Well, what are you going to do with the film projects now? What's next up on your slate for films? Have you got something under production now?
No, I don't have anything under production now. I do want to talk to you guys because I would love to investigate this more as far as, let's look at other corruption that we could really get into their offices. We can really get into their mindset and see the discussions between the White House and the Illuminati, the DHS, the NSA. What are they really talking about? So I'd love to do a full drama narrative film where we interweave a bunch of different characters and then see the cause and see the effect. We see them talking about it, then we see it played out.
Or even as Gigi Ernetta special report earlier, she's got a breaking report about Obama and the connection with the Obama phone and the telecom billionaire out of Mexico, the world's richest man. So, we talk about the presidents being just puppets of international globalist corporations. I mean,
exactly. So we see that conversation. That's the kind of narrative I'd like to get into. And that's what we did with Purge. And people seem to like it. So let's go further.
That's right. We tell people about what's happening in the news. We can put together documentaries that spread it out, give them a broader context. But those are all didactic. And it seems like when you act out something and people can see that interaction, then it really clicks in a different way. It wakes them up in a different way, and then they're ready to go back and explore farther with the documentaries, with the news articles. But it's really got to click with them on a visceral level, and I think that's what your film and other films that people have acted this stuff out, I think that's what's really important about that.
Yeah, and look at what the enemy is doing. Now we got a TV series on Hillary Clinton is coming out. Why are they doing that? Well, it's for the reasons you just stated.
Well, you mentioned that, and there's a breaking news story that was on the Hollywood Reporter about the chilling history of how Hollywood helped Hitler. And Alex talked about this a little bit yesterday. It's really amazing. It says, drawing on archival documents in the U.S. and Germany, he reveals the shocking extent in this book to which Hollywood cooperated and collaborated with the Nazis during the decade leading up to World War II to protect its business. And they point out they didn't do any critical portrayals of Hitler until well after the war began out of Hollywood. It just talks about this cozy relationship. We see that same kind of cozy relationship now between Hollywood and the federal government in Washington. I mean, there really are tools of the federal government.
Absolutely. And if we're gonna be in the info war, then we got to be offensive with film.
That's
and you guys have done a great job. You're encouraging the rest of us info warriors to get involved, and I believe there's a lot of things we could do.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background in filmmaking, your movie company. I know you've got a film I saw on Amazon, Renegade. It's a PG Western, and I liked the film reviews there. There's a couple of Amazon reviews. This one said it's true grit meets Lonesome Dove, fun for the whole family, a great message, superb score, quality acting. Another one said great faith-based film for families. Tell us a little bit about that and some of your other work.
Yeah, well, I'm originally from Tucson, Arizona. That's where I am now. That's where the film company is now. And yeah, I got going into film back in 2003. My first short film was about the devil and a day that you see in the devil, kind of like the satire guy you guys have done.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I really should show some clips of that for you sometime. But that was kind of my first. And then I've probably done 15 or so short movies about Pontius Pilate. I did one about the Hmong people of the Vietnam War and how they helped American downed fighter pilots. I've done all kinds of ones. But this
you mentioned the film about the devil. We took a lot of heat from that from a lot of people. I kind of wonder if C.S. Lewis got heat for doing screw tape letters from people.
Oh, I'm sure, but it's powerful. I mean, when you start to see what is the devil really talking about with his demons and such, and then why does he do what he does? Why is he so hateful? Where did that come from? And so I would love to do a feature film. It would take a lot of money to do, but where you actually see the devil in heaven, and then you see the fall, and then you see why he is. What is he really after here on earth?
Right.
Is it just because he said no? There's a reason to it all.
That's
and
right.
So I think it's a powerful piece if we could do it. But Renegade, it's a family film about a movie about God, gold, and guns. The tagline is the good and the bad shall be revealed. And go on chosenfilmworks.com. That's my website. You can buy it through that, and it's on Amazon too. I think your audience would really enjoy it.
That's great. So, I forget. Did you say that you're already working on another film right now, or do you have an active project that's going on? Or
no, I got a lot of different things in development I'd like to get going. So no, I'm not working on anything officially right now. I have a comedy that I like to do. I like the movie about the devil, but now would be a good time. And I really feel we are at a critical time in history. If we're going to do this, if we're going to really ante up and come after the globalists, and in the info war and get on an offensive. The best defense is going to be a good offense. And get on the offensive. Now's the time. So if we're going to do it, we gotta start talking and planning here.
That's right.
This fall.
That's right. Yeah, and that's basically the time frame we're looking at right now. We've got a documentary that's under production, and it's after that Alex is going to start rolling these things out. And that was one of the key things that we needed to do, was to be able to turn around things that were on a very short time basis. Tell us about some of the other films that were in Paul Revere that maybe you like, some of your competition. What stood out to you?
A Healthy Distrust was awesome. Great interviews. They had great information that they passed along. Dream Revered was fantastic.
Yeah, that was almost, that was really kind of in our top 4. I mean, it was very difficult as to, what to put for the third place winner. It was really, really close. That was an excellent documentary. I really liked that.
look at American Drone. That might as well be on network TV.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have so many different people. There was Endgame, the production value. Look at what is it? Political Earth, the animation one.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. I mean, you have a lot of it. These would have competed in any film festival in the world.
Absolutely. And you know, you mentioned American Drone, and he told us, we've got his other film up there, The Futurist, which was a kind of a fantasy film about 9/11. And of course, he told us that he had tried to get in many film festivals, and they all rejected it because of subject matter. They don't want to talk about that, right? So there's a self-censorship that's going on, even if it isn't coming from the top. They don't want to get into certain types of controversies. They have no trouble jumping into other types of controversies, but when it comes to really looking at what happened on September 11th, which is fundamental to the way this country has been transformed on the basis of the official narrative of 9/11. And so that's something we should all look at very carefully, just as we should all look at very carefully the official rationale for transforming the world based on the perception of climate change and the causes, the perceived causes of climate change or whatever. So they come up with these narratives, and they use these narratives to completely restructure society and government and even create a world government, and yet we're not allowed to question or even look at these fundamental assumptions.
Yeah, but just take it one brick at a time, build it up, build it up. You know, it's like one of my favorite books is Og Mandino's The Greatest Salesman in the World. And it talks about if you're going to be a success at anything, you just have to, you may take, if you're going to chop down a tree and you got your axe, the first blow may not cause even a tremor in the wood. But from childish swipes, if you just keep on going, the oak will eventually tumble. It's like anything. You just got to keep going, and then hopefully you hit those points of critical mass, especially in the info war, where things do begin to snap. What was it? Summer 2012, HSBC or something admitted that they laundered the money for it, or something like that.
Yeah.
So there's been big events that really makes the general public think. Obviously, there's how far is the mainstream media going to take it? They're not going to take it anywhere. But it just seems like the truth does get leaked out.
Well, you have situations like the Snowden case, for example, right now. That there were whistleblowers right after September 11th that talked about precisely what he's talking about, the dragnet that went out there. These were people who were on the inside. They went through the entire internal process. Then they went open with it. The government came after them. But it took Edward Snowden leaking the same information that these insiders had already put out there 10, 12 years ago. It took his revelation to really get people to start thinking about it. So you never know what's going to hit traction with people.
Yes.
That's why we're trying to do every different kind of avenue. We try to do broadcast news, print news. We try to do documentaries. We try to do now fiction films. So there's a lot of different things that we're trying to do. And you did a great job. I know you're very happy winning, and we just want to tell the other people who participate in this that we're going to be looking at all of their work, and it's a talent search as part of this, and we had a lot of really fine work out there, but we're interested in talking to you some more, and you'll be hearing back from us, I'm sure.
All praise and glory to God. Thank you so much. It was wonderful. All my people involved, thank you. They're so excited, so proud, and hopefully we can do an annual event.
Yes.
It'll be an annual film festival sometime.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you very much. Congratulations, Michael. Well, congratulations to Michael Dorman, the producer of The Purge, the $100,000 grand prize winner in Operation Paul Revere. And we want you to go check that out. We didn't play any clips of it, so we want you to go check that out at Operation Paul Revere site. That's infowars.com/Paul, and you can see all the entries there. Not just the finalists, not just the winners, but there's a lot of stuff there. And you're all winners for participating in it, and we're serious about that. You've had an effect. We got a communication from one of the finalists saying that he had tried for years to wake up his family. And once he became a finalist, he got his mom to go take a look at the movies at the site, and she was up till late in the morning looking at all these different films, and it really woke her up on a variety of topics. So it's a great outreach, and we want you to use that as a resource. I think you'll be entertained, and it's a great way to wake people up. We're going to try to do the things that the mainstream media and that Hollywood won't do. As we talked about in the interview, Hollywood was actually helping the Germans as Hitler rose to power. And we see the same sort of thing happening in Washington now. They're working hand in glove with the government, working to establish new boundaries for society. working to establish an authoritarian, centralized government, and we need to push back against that in every way possible. Now, the new edition of InfoWars magazine just came out. That's another way that you can reach people. It's another way that we're committed to get the information out. That's available at InfoWarsStore.com. You can support all of our operations there and help us to fund this operation, help us to do things like Operation Paul Revere. It was a huge amount of money for a video contest. There are not very many contests out there that have a $100,000 prize, and we can do that with your support, with your purchases at InfoWarsStore.com. It's a win-win situation. It helps us to get the information out there, and Alex is committed to funding this information war. Well, that's it for tonight. We'll be back at 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night. Stay tuned.
Now you can watch The Alex Jones Show live as it happens at Infowars.com/show.
You'll find links to all of our content there and a free 15-day trial for Prison Planet TV.
More than 60 movies and documentaries all in one place at Infowars.com/show.